Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
Hey guys, and welcome to a new Whatif, and I say it's new, this is going to be a third reboot of it, because this time I actually have enough material to do a reboot without finishing all the material, and this is going to be what if Deku had a solo leveling quirk. If you guys do not know, my favourite manga is solo leveling. I've made it clear so many times. If it was an anime, I'm pretty sure I'd overrank Dragon Ball Z for me and Naruto. I don't know why, I've just clicked with it. I love Dragon Ball Z and Naruto and all that, but I just clicked with solo leveling a lot more. I don't know why. Like, it's literally on my number one list. Even if it was an anime, even if it was a terrible anime, just because of how good the manga is, I'd say that anime is good. Yeah, I'm not one of them people. But anyways, let's just jump straight into this, because I've thought the story out a bit for this, just a little bit, because I didn't like going off the top of my head. I just needed to start the plot, because I couldn't figure out how to give him solo leveling powers without making dungeons a thing in the world, which I don't want to do. Anyway, let's just start straight into this. Like with the next part, 60 likes. Let's get into this. Well, we're going to start off with everything's the same. Deku's quirkless. He gets bullied every single day of his life, except it's worse. It's not just by Bakugou and his friends. It's by a few more, like half the class, I'd say. But at the same time, he actually has friends. But they ain't friends. They are the people who want him to do his homework. I mean, want them to do their homework. I mean, he wants him to do their homework. English, man, it's not an easy thing for me. And so Deku knows this, but he still likes the idea of having people to talk to at lunch. So he does it anyway. But because of this, Deku hasn't really felt a meaning for his life. By no means is he suicidal, but he doesn't have a meaning for it. He lost the urge to be a hero when he was told he was quirkless, as the way the doctor told him was with a laugh. But the only person who is the same for him is his mum. She's still the same loving mother in our anime, if not so more. And she didn't gain any weight, as instead of becoming a depressed mother, she was determined to be a great mother and work hard. So Izuku is actually rich, but no matter how much he pushes for it, Izuku refuses to be taken out and put into like a private education because of the quotations friends he has. But let's just get into this. I must say it's the last day of middle school. And Deku, everything happened. He got told to take a swan off of the building. He got told to do this. He got told to do that. But instead of a slime villain attack, All Might actually caught him. So that doesn't happen. And instead, while Deku's walking home, a huge explosion occurs down the street, and he runs towards it to see what's happening. A villain's holding I'd say a group of like 20 children hostage, and is pointing a weird beam at the end of his fingers at them, and he's threatening if he doesn't gain immunity and £1 billion from the government, he's gonna kill him. And Deku's seeing this. Deku's insanely smart. At first he thought his intelligence was an actual quirk, because for him he sees the numbers appear in his field of view, like as he's working something out. But it turns out he actually just has a rare brain condition that allows him to do this. And he knows if he had to, he could probably run out now and get in front of them in time. But he doesn't have the urge to do this yet, as there's still a chance the heroes can save them. But as he can see this, none of the heroes are able to do anything. And the guy who at first Deku thought would wait for his request to be fulfilled actually seems to be a crazy person who's ready to shoot the kids just for the fun of it. And he takes a deep breath as his fly flashes before his eyes, as he's done nothing except for sit around and take what life's given him over and over again, not done nothing to try help himself, done nothing to try get out of it. He's just accepted his meager, poor life. Not poor, his just sad life. And this is what he decides, he's going to do something useful with his life, even if it's his last second of it. And and he jumps over the barrier. I can't speak right now. Barricades or whatever it's called, the stuff that stops them from going over. Barriers. Yeah, that's it. And he jumps over them and runs in front of the kids. And the guy shoots the attack. Deku won't make it unless he takes one giant leap and manages to get in between the attack, and it hits him, saving the kids, but seeming sending him flying, or seeming to kill him instantly. In this split second, the heroes managed to act and actually subdue the villain, and everyone just looked at Deku's lifeless body laying there. Bakugou was there, and this broke him. The kid he bullied his entire life just died in front of him. And the memories of the kid who bullied, who was actually his best friend at one point, his best friend just got murdered in front of him. He left as quick as possible, not looking back. He was sorry. If he could ever see Deku again, he would get on his knees and apologise and beg for forgiveness. Now he has to be a hero. He will do it for Deku, so he can make up for all the wrong he's done, and to save people, and save them in Deku's name, or Izuku's name. As Deku lay there, drawing his last few breaths, he lays there with a smile. He did it. He saved them. He was a hero. His dream has been fulfilled. He saved someone's life. He saved 10 people's lives. And now them kids are going to be able to live on because of him. He was happy. He was content with his death. And as a tear slowly fell down his face, all the memories of his life flashed through his eyes. His mother working hard to provide him with an education, with a home, with food. And his memories of Bakugou as when they were actually best friends flashed through his eyes. And all the dreams and like desires of being a hero to help people just flashed through his eyes as his eyes were slowly closing. Deku felt a determination he'd never felt before. No, I'm not going to die here. I'm going to be a hero. I am a hero. Why should I die here? I am going to save people again. I am going to stop villains again. And I don't care if I'm quirkless. I don't care if I'm powerless. I will do it again and again, even if it means I will die. So I do not care if it means that I will have to live through this pain 10,000 lifetimes over. I am going to live. I am going to survive. And as he says this, a golden light, a small blue light glimmers his eyes as a message appeared in front of him, and it said, "You have now become a player. Use the system to level up and become stronger." With this, the critical fatal wounds in Deku's body seemingly healed, but no one noticed this. And this is when Deku passed out. He woke up in hospital and was shocked to be alive. And he remembered the message and thought, what was that? And he looked up and saw the announcement talking about how he was now a player and about his daily quests, but he decided to ignore it and laid back down to go to bed. And then he ignored the penalty quest as well. But then after his time passed, it hit 0. And Deku woke up in a desert with giant centipede monsters chasing after him. And he barely managed to survive. But he did, and he landed back in hospital. Barely conscious, but he also got a message. Award for surviving penalty has been rewarded. Sent to inventory or mailbox. He woke up the next day to his mum there, and he was still trying to figure out the game system, but he just decided to ignore it for now and actually do his daily quests, which his mum strongly frowned upon, but allowed him to anyway, which he did. And over the next week, Deku got taller, more ripped, a lot stronger. Well, not a lot stronger. He was roughly right. In his base, he's roughly 8% of One for All. Actually, no, he's Sun Jingwu level when he beat the snake. Anyway, and he opened up his mailbox and got a dungeon key. It was E rank, the Naga's lair, and he found the location and the requirements to fulfill it. And right now his strength stat is 18, his stamina is 22, his agility is 15. And yeah, I'll just keep them at that for now. He entered the dungeon. And in preparation he bought a sword online, a katana. To his surprise, for being such a cheap weapon, it was actually A rank. But Deku thought this was just a lucky gamble that he took, that paid off. Which, yes, it was. It was a lucky gamble, as the game, you're forgetting that, as if you're complaining about this, you're forgetting that the Solo Leveling world and the My Hero Academia world are a lot different. They have no need to be able to sell weapons at such a high price, so of course you could get a good weapon for cheaper. Which he did. So he enters the dungeon. After realising that his body was lighter, he was faster, he was stronger, he was powerful, he could be a hero. Deku had leveled up multiple times. He was now level 20. His stat points were now, and his stats were now all around level 30s. And I know you're thinking this was a big jump, but it's because I wanted him to be strong, and he's now roughly at 40% of one for all. Actually, no, I must say 60%. And he's easily breezing through the dungeon until he gets to the Naga's lair. He runs in there and he swings his sword at the Naga's skull and it breaks. He jumps back scared. What does he do? The lunges at him and he does the only thing he could think of. He swings a punch and he nails the Naga directly in the head, sending it flying backwards, actually stunning it. It showed a stun effect. And he says, so I can stun you, huh? He runs towards the Naga, punching it in his stomach, denting the scales, but doing nothing insane. And he says, so I can't break through, but I can crush. He jumps up and grabs onto the Naga's neck, who's still stunned, not moving. And he yells out loud and crushes as hard as he can, destroying the Naga's neck, defeating it, and gaining the Naga's blade. A weapon that has a bleed effect and a paralysis. He puts it in his inventory and leaves the dungeon, and is fully allowed out of hospital. Bakugou has no clue that Deku's still alive, but he's gonna find out in a few days. But until then, Deku's continuously training, and everyone that Deku's knew thought Deku just had an insane glow up. And he even got his self-evaluated for a quirk again, and showing that he had insane strength and can actually summon weapons. They decided that Deku's quirk was actually powerful, but he needed a boost to awaken it, and taking that insane life-death blow from the villain was enough of a catalyst to awaken his quirk. That's what they believe, at least. And they ask what does he want his quirk to be called, and he says, Solo Leveler. And they think it's a weird name, but he just says it's because it's one of his favourite RPG games. And they said, okay, I guess it's up to you. Deku trains over time until finally he gets someone banging on his door as loud as they can, until he hears a familiar voice saying, Deku, if you don't open this door, I'll blow it down. And he runs down to the door and opens it, and he looks at him and says, Kachan. He expected to have to dodge an explosion or a punch, but instead he gets a hug to a Bakugou crying down his shoulder, saying sorry, saying that he's sorry for everything, saying he's sorry for bullying him, saying he's sorry for for every little thing he's done. He was begging for forgiveness. And before Deku could even say anything, Bakugou straight away expected a no, so he was on his knees begging for forgiveness, begging to be friends again. And Deku just looked down and smiled and put his hand out and said to him, you have no need to apologise, because I forgave you long ago. And Bakugou's world was blown away. How could someone be so selfless, so kind, to not even bat an eye at forgiving someone who made their life hell for years? And he asks Deku when did he forgive him, and he says, and Deku explained how once he got hit by that attack, his life flashed before his eyes, and he saw all the memories of him and Bakugou together. So as far as Deku, he says, as far as Deku's concerned, that Bakugou was never his bully. He was just going through a little rough patch. They were always best friends. Bakugou, who's crying even more now, gets up and hugs him again. And then finally takes note of Deku, changes and just freezes, and he's like, when did you get tall? And Deku explains how he actually has a quirk and is a late bloomer, and Bakugou's eyes light up. He was actually happy for his now, yet again, new best friend. And he said straight away they need to go and train, which they do. Deku tells Bakugou he's going to hold back because he has no clue how strong he actually is. He's never gone all out. And Bakugou says that fine, but trust me, you're going to have to go all out. And Bakugou rushes at Deku. Deku manages to actually dodge this pretty easily and grabs Bakugou's arm, preparing to slam him to the ground in a hold. But since Bakugou saw Deku get wiped out by that villain, he's been training non-stop with his quirk and using his other arm to propel himself up and then use the force from the propulsion to hit Deku in the face. Bakugou thought this was an amazing move until he felt the pain in his hand. He felt like he just punched a wall. His knuckles were already bruised and Deku didn't even seem to have a mark. That's when Deku moved quicker than Bakugou's eyes could actually see and nailed Bakugou's chest, sending Bakugou flying backwards. Bakugou laid on the ground with gasping for air as Deku ran over, making sure he was okay. And Bakugou smirked and says, looks like my rival was really going to be you. Having a memory to when Deku was saying it was going to get a quirk just as amazing as his. And they get up and they start training together. Deku explains his power to Bakugou and Bakugou's just flabbergasted at Deku. He's someone who can continuously get stronger as long as he levels up. That means he could surpass All Might. And they had no clue that Deku was actually close to surpassing All Might. As now after Deku still kept up with his training, he was at 95% of 1-for-all. His strength was, I'd say, 47, no not 47, I'd say 50. All his stats were 50, except for his intelligence. As Deku had a feeling that his intelligence needed a rise, and due to this, the system made an adjustment. And actually boosted his intelligence to 100 there and then, giving Deku a lot of mana. But over time, Deku has been doing dungeons, unlucky, dominate his hands, stealth, and others which we'll go more into later, such as bloodlust and sprint. And with these, Deku's slowly been training them, leveling them up, even gaining dagger abilities. And he's leveled one of his dagger abilities up to the max, as it seemed to be one of the most vital abilities he will have. And he has Mutilate. And whenever he uses it, it seems that his body somewhat moves at speeds that are uncomparable and slices hundreds of times. So if you get hit by this directly, it's an instant kill. And Deku loves the fact of this, but he also doesn't like the fact that if he wanted to use this, he'd kill them. So he managed to figure out how to use the lower levels of it that doesn't kill. And with this, we finally get to the day. The first day of the UA entrance exams, where Deku easily aced the test due to his intelligence stat. And his already insane intelligence before, which has now just been boosted, giving Deku a unique ability, which is the Emperor of Knowledge. If Deku uses this ability, any question he once ever needed, he'd have the answer to. But there's a cooldown, he can only use it once a day. So if he ever needed information such as how to beat this villain, he would get a guaranteed 100% answer. And if it wasn't possible, it would make it possible. And if you guys didn't get the hint of that, this is going to be a broken ability. It would make it possible, meaning it would make him strong enough to make it possible. This means, if you know what this means, because I know some of you won't think of it, but this means a lot. And oh my god, my mic isn't even plugged in. What? Oh wait, no, it is. I'm looking at a lead, which meant my mic's meant to be plugged into, and I just realised I got a new one. My heart just dropped. But yeah, if you can figure out what I'm getting at, this ability literally breaks breaks the entire plot. But I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the like button down below. Peace out, you guys. Love.